Hey you. Yeah, you. Welcome to the Malaka podcast. Well, it's that time of year again where a lot of people enjoy smoking and yet they try to quit. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been trying to do this for many years. Then I think to myself, I love to smoke. I'm not promoting it, don't get me wrong. If smoking is not your thing, if you prefer to just drink or I don't know, do LSD, whatever. I'm just saying, whatever your thing is, makes you happy, that's cool. On a nice day, I like to just sit outside in a balcony, any balcony, it doesn't matter, concrete, wood, whatever. Have a coffee and have a cigarette. It's nice, it's relaxing. There's something beautiful about having a cigarette. There really is. Just it calms you down sometimes when you stress out. You just take one out, you start puffing, and you feel great. A lot of times when you're just drinking, you like to just have a cigarette and just sit there and, wonder how many drinks you've had and meet weird people outside the bar or club and, hey, you're smoking too. Hey, yeah, we're smoking. Oh, yeah, it's great. Where are you from? Fuck off, Just, like simple talk. It gets you out of situations. I can't tell you how many times, even times I've quit smoking and people still think I'm smoking, and then just to get out of a bad situation, I'm like, yeah, I got to go outside and smoke. I'm telling you, even if you don't smoke, try that sometime. People be like, I didn't know you smoked. I'm like, yeah. I just started when you started talking. It works wonders, trust me. Now, me personally, I smoke Belmont Lights, or as they call them, Belmont Silvers. Second place, okay, story of my life. But anyways, they're pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. You can have one after a coffee, after a nice vodka, after a nice Guinness on tap. It's beautiful. I find if you have a really good night of drinking, you're going to wake up the next day. If you're a smoker, you've been there, you're going to wake up, you're going to feel like Keith Richards. Your throat's just going to be on fire. You're going to feel like one of the dragons from Game of Thrones. I don't really watch Game of Thrones, I'll be honest, but I heard there's dragons on there. I just assume they spit fire. But you're going to feel like shit. But if you get a light one like I did for the last couple years, it's definitely easier on the throat. But what's the attraction to smoking? I mean, it doesn't get you high. I mean, maybe that first one in the morning if you're, a construction worker or, I don't know, about to perform surgery for 6 hours, I guess. I don't know, maybe you'll have one. I remember watching Mad Men and they would smoke, the doctors would just start puffing away, yeah. So what is it, doc? You got cancer. All right, thanks. All right. Yeah, they didn't care. But what is the draw of smoke? I mean, obviously, we watched it a lot on film. Or, we used to. I remember, what was her name? Sigourney Weaver, who kicked ass in Ghostbusters, and Ghostbusters 2. She was in, Aliens. Alien 1, Alien 3, 4, 5, I don't know. They just kept coming back for some reason. I don't know. But they gave her shit recently, a couple years ago when she did Avatar, and she was like the only one smoking. Now, let me ask you something. If you're working on machines all day, back and forth, building the same shit, you know what? You're going to want to eventually have a smoke and just relax. Everyone's gone to, fix their car or they see the workers smoking away. Why not? Oh, you can't smoke there. You can't smoke there. Listen, they don't care. They just got to relax. That's all. And I don't blame them. But what's the draw? What makes smoking so cool? You see guys like James Dean back in the day, like smoking a cigarette. Like I almost can't find a picture of him not smoking a cigarette. Guys like him, Marlon Brando, Humphrey Bogart. But today's stars, you don't really see them smoke. I mean, you might see them, the odd time smoking if, their role cares for it, but not really. I mean, a guy like Patrick Swayze, I'll give you a perfect example. So, Patrick Swayze seems like a pretty clean-cut guy, and he was for the most part. But then you see him in Roadhouse, and he's like just puffing one after another. All he needs is a cigarette and a coffee in the morning. He doesn't eat the Danish, just a cigarette and a coffee. That's all he needs. I think he almost took that role because he just wanted to puff away. I've heard that Brad Pitt is a big chain smoker, and a lot of people are in Hollywood. Big chain smokers, but you never see them smoke on camera. I mean, you might see them in one role do it, just so they can, get out of their system. And maybe the role calls for it. It makes them look cooler. You're holding a cigarette. It's just something about it. It really does make you look cooler. I don't know, maybe it's just the essence of the smoke, just the way it looks. It's really cool. It is. But a lot of people would say it looks stupid. Think of that one scene in Goodfellas. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. What's De Niro doing at the bar? He's like eyeing the guy down. He's like, he's got to go. But he's smoking a cigarette. But it looks so cool in slow motion. The song adds to it. It's awesome. How many times you watch a gangster movie and you see a guy just smoking a cigar? Yeah, see, I'm gonna, just puff away my lungs. Yeah. It just went with the essence of cool, The fire maybe has something to do with it. Maybe it's, the allure of fire and you're igniting something, and I don't know. It does look cool, though. I do have to say that. Something about it just looks cool. Looks cool. It almost makes the person look tougher. I had to deal with a situation once at work. And I remember the boss came in, and I'm not going to lie to you, he wasn't a big guy. He had all these big guys around him. And, he came in and he was just smoking a cigar. The guy didn't say a word, but he looked tough as shit. I mean, he looked like Scarface. He had the suit and everything, Of course, you're scared of everybody else that's around him that's 7 feet. But of course, you can tell he's the guy in charge. The guy who always says the less talking is always the guy in charge. Because he doesn't have to say shit. He might whisper into someone's ear, but they're still puffing away. Cigar and whatever, just throw them outside. It's cool, but what's not cool is cancer, because I know people that have had cancer. My grandpa, for example, passed away 96, around 95, 96. He was always a little guy. I mean, literally, if you ever watched Sopranos, he looked like Meadows' father, basically. I mean, picture him, clean-shaven, slick hair. He never really ate, like to drink. That homemade wine, I think, just kept him going. But I think he died in his mid-50s. Smoked 2 packs a day. I believe there were players, too, which anybody is smoking out there. First of all, if you smoke players, there's something wrong with you, because it's literally like smoking paper. You just call them paper, because that's exactly what they are. I tried smoking a players once, and I don't know. I'd rather just smoke a Indian Reserve one. It's not worth it. But it didn't look good. I mean, I think at one point the doctors told him, look, just keep smoking. I mean, there's no point. You might as well just, keep puffing away there. Maybe it exercises your lungs a little bit, and enjoy it while you can, I guess. But still, to go out like that, 56, 55, around there, it's not worth it. Now, of course, I'm a hypocrite, because I do smoke. I'm not gonna lie, though. How many times have you said that, I don't smoke a lot, I only smoke around people, I only smoke around, whatever. There's always an excuse for smoking. All the time. There's Always an excuse for smoking. Oh, I'm having a couple drinks. I'm having a smoke. I'm at work. I need to relax. I need to smoke. My mom's breaking my balls. I gotta smoke. It's just there's always an excuse for smoking. No one says I'm feeling stressed out. I need a stick of gum. Oh, that Trident would really hit the spot right now. No, you need a cigarette. After sex, what do? I eat and fall asleep. But like a lot of people, they like to smoke. Sometimes I do too. If it's cold outside, fuck it. I just stay inside. But for the most part, yeah, a lot of people like to smoke. It just adds to the high, I guess. Again, it's cool. It's that cool factor. What the fuck makes smoking so cool, though? I know I said a couple points already, but really, if you think about it, and they really make it advertising on the pack here. So, I got my pack of Belmont Lights or Silvers. I guess you can get the rights to gold, I guess. But they show a mother and daughter. Cigarette addiction affects generations. Mother and daughter are both addicted to tobacco. Nicotine is the drug in tobacco that causes addiction. That's true. Nicotine is an addictive substance. But again, if you've had a hard day, it is so good to just have a smoke. It really is. That is if you are a smoker. Again, if you are not a smoker, I do not condone smoking. Do not start smoking. Please, don't do it. What's really weird is I started smoking weed before I started smoking cigarettes. I don't smoke weed anymore. I'll say that for another podcast. But I haven't smoked weed since 2014, October, November, something like that. I don't know. It's too powerful. You mumble. I don't know. You rap like Future. It just, I don't know. I don't like it. The point is, after I started smoking weed a couple years later, then I started smoking cigarettes. So I totally fucked up that rotation. It probably started with me having a couple drinks and you gotta have some cigarettes. It just goes well together. It really does. I can't explain why. And a lot of people, they'll wake up, they'll have their beautiful cup of coffee from Tim Hortons. I used to work at a Tim Hortons, and one thing I learned is if you fuck up a person's cup of coffee, you fucked up their whole day. So I can't imagine what it's like if you break their cigarettes, or whatever. But it just goes great together. It's soothing. It's very relaxing. Larry David, I saw him talking to Jerry Seinfeld one day on comedies with or comedians in cars. And he said, he made a good point. He said, if you're smoking a cigarette, for the most part, it's more of a working man's thing, and you're rushing it and you're just, having a couple puffs and you're just when I gather. But if you're a cigar, you're, you probably got a little bit of money to spend on, a nice little Cuban, and, you're just puffing away. You're taking your time. It's like the rich man's smoke. It's a way of, it really is a way of showing class, if you think about it. It really is. Clothes show that. Money shows that. What do you do with your money? You waste it on cigars. Why not? Sitting with your buddies, having a poker game, whatever. Just puff a couple, take your time. There's no rush. You see someone with again, I hate to say this, but you see someone with Indian reserves, and again, I don't blame you. I really don't, because they're cheap. I remember back in the day, I bought a couple bags. I think I got a 200 bag one for $5? So of course they're great, and they got the sticker on the bag, which, of course, because we're all going to pay attention to the big Ziploc sticker. But, these are pretty expensive. For the most part, if you're buying a pack of cigarettes today, a brand name one, let's say Belmont's or Demore, you're probably going to smoke it or spend at least, at least $11 to $13. I was downtown about a year ago. And one place, they wanted, for king size Belmont lights, or silvers, whatever you want to call them, $16.80. $16.80. Now let's assume if someone is making minimum wage. They're making, best case scenario, $14. It's more than what you worked in that hour. The earliest I can remember, I remember growing up going to stores, some people getting like $5, $5.50, you know. I remember that scene in always in Dazed and Confused, where I think the year of Dazed and Confused, I think it's based on 1976 or 78, something like that. But I remember like he goes into the store and that like big picture of cigarettes, 60 cents. Like they were giving it away. So I don't blame people for buying these Indian smokes. But if you can afford them, you know, I prefer the Belmonts, I'm not going to lie. I mean, they must be really cool. I mean, they must be really still in cigarettes if people are willing to spend that much money for them. But a lot of people aren't. They're switching to the vapes. Now, me personally, I don't know. I've heard way too many bad things about vapes. Like all the chemicals. You know, like, again, I know, you know, you're smoking cigarettes, you're probably smoking at least 2,000 bad chemicals in there, 1,000, who knows? It's, you know, it's bad for sure. But I don't know, just something about like when you, like a lot of these containers too, you know, they got the skull and crossbones. Now, I'm looking at this pack and I'm thinking to myself, okay, worst case, you know, I might be in a hospital. I might be just, you know, chilling, you know. Worst case, just, you know, having to smoke with my mom, I guess. But, you know, I don't see any skull and crossbones here. I mean, I see, like, what do I see? I see the duty-free paid in Canada. That's nice. Oh, wow, look at this. Cigarettes have an expiry date. I didn't even know that. But look at this. It says best before MA, then it says SE 18. Okay, so you're basically telling me these cigarettes are going to expire sometime between May and September. Okay. So, you know, so if I still have them by then, which I won't, but if I do, maybe June they'll just evaporate or catch on fire by themselves. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, I don't know. I just can't make that switch to vape. And I was thinking to myself, like, let's say if like Brando, I mean, would Brando do vaping? I don't know. I mean, like, would all these like old guys do vaping? I don't know. I can't see it. But then again, I saw the recent Dave Chappelle special, and that threw me off when he, like in one of his specials, when he's in the kind of bar atmosphere there, he's just smoking a cigarette one after another, ashing on the rug. They don't give a shit. But then in the next one on stage there, he's doing the vape. So, you know, it's almost like he's doing best of both worlds. Maybe he's catering to both crowds, you know? Millennials and old people. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, more likely you probably can't smoke in the theater there, but, you know, you never know. But what makes cigarettes so cool? I mean, what makes them so cool, honestly? I mean, like, you know, like, first of all, you can't even smoke on planet Earth anymore. I mean, like, I hate when you go to a bar or even like an office building and they got that sign that says, well, okay, you're outside, but, you know, go a little further. Go about 9 meters straight. Now, I think there's cases where if you're downtown and if you go another 9 meters straight, you're literally smoking in the road. So I don't think your biggest concern is going to be, you know, lung cancer at this point, you know? But, all right. And then let's say you go to a bar. They even have, the little patio. If there's cover underneath that patio, you can't smoke there. Why? Because technically it's inside. But what if there's gaps? What if there's those like gaps from the back and front, and you know, you still can't smoke? Why? Like what? Like what's the like? Everything is going outside. We're outside. You can just push it out. It's cool. Like, I don't understand it. You know, it's not like the wood is gonna expunge and just evaporate and fall on my head. You know, as I'm enjoying my Heineken or vodka, whatever 10th cigarette I'm on. Like, it's just, I don't think it's gonna affect it. I think you should be able to. You know what though? I'll be honest. I'm actually glad you can't smoke inside anymore. Because I remember at one point, me and my buddies would go to the pool hall, and you could smoke inside. And that is a cool scene. Like when you go into a pool hall, you see everybody just drinking and smoking, and just, you know, it's like a, I don't know, like a rebel without a cause kind of vibe, you know, or you know, like pool hall junkies, or, you know, it's just that era of cool, you know, or the hustler, you know. You go in there, there's no rules. You do what you want. So we go in there, and you can still smoke at this time. And I remember my one buddy didn't smoke. I remember he was just sitting there, and like we looked at him, and there was like just a cloud of smoke around him. You know, this is a guy who, you know, doesn't smoke, barely drinks, whatever. You know, so he's just sucking in all this secondhand smoke for nothing. It sucks. It really, really sucks. So me personally, I'm actually glad we don't have to smoke inside anymore. That's just me, because it's just too many people smoking, you know? I don't mean sound like a dick, but let's say if I go to a bar and there's maybe like 30 people in there, if I'm allowed to smoke, that's cool, you know? But if like literally half the people are smoking, then, you know, I'm breathing in everyone else's shit. Like, it sucks. There's not much you can do about that. So you have to go outside in this cold weather, minus 15, 20 weather, suck it up. Is that cigarette worth it? I don't know. Some cases it is. Sometimes it's not. I think, you know, this is pretty stupid. Like, I don't know what I'm doing out here. Why am I smoking? I guess it's cool. It must be at this point. I mean, I'm not a big smoker myself. Like, I'm not even lying when I say this. I could buy a pack a week, and that's fine. The majority of my smoking I probably do when I drink. I like to have a good smoke. I like to have a good drink. Why not have them together? It's a beautiful combination. But when you get older, you're going to feel it. Like, I'm 35 now. So, you know, by the time I'm 50, am I going to not smoke anymore? Am I going to smoke more, you know? But how do you explain Keith Richards? I mean, I like, again, that guy's just puffing away. Like, he's playing the guitar. He's got one at the end there. He's just going nuts. A part of it has just got to be genes. A part of it is just like anything else. Just, you know, a little bit at a time. Again, I'm not promoting smoking. Listen. This is my third podcast. I'm not going to promote anything until I get paid. But I'm just saying in general. Like, I don't promote it. It's not good. Like, if you're one of those people that don't smoke, good. You know. I remember years ago, like, my dad wanted to have a cigarette with me, and he's never had a cigarette before. I'm like, Dad, you're not going to start smoking at like 58. Like, it's just stupid, you know. But part of it is the allure. It's like, hey, you know, you want to be cool, you want to, you know, chill, you know. Like, when you go to a bar, I mean, like it's like, oh, you want to go for a smoke? A lot of people don't like to go out alone for a smoke. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It depends. I mean, sometimes I just can't, you know, wait. I just want to go outside. A lot of times I just go to my buddies there. I'm like, you want to smoke? Smoke. We all look at each other, you know. It's like that scene in Blues Brothers with John Candy. Orange whip, orange whip, orange whip, orange whip, orange whip, you know. You're going? Cool. Awesome. Let's do it. So we all go out there. We got something to talk about, you know. We talk about stupid shit like, you know, how, I don't know, could Jason Bourne beat up John Wick? You know, I mean, just random shit. Who knows? You know? And there's always that one time, like, you know, like somebody will be outside and someone will eventually say, I don't know why we're smoking, you know? Like, what's the point of this? And then we talk about that for the next 5 minutes. I don't know why I'm smoking either. I just enjoy it. This is my first smoke today. This is my 10th smoke today. I just smoke when I drink. There's always an excuse for smoking. Every time. I've heard some people, when they try to quit, they're under hypnosis. They'll listen to tapes. And sometimes it works. I just can't, I've never tried it, so I can't say it doesn't work. But I just find it hard to believe that it actually does work. I mean, you're listening to something at nighttime like, don't smoke, don't smoke, don't smoke. You know, like, or I don't know, maybe they're giving you the sounds of the rainforest or something, you know. Wah, don't smoke. All right. But, you know, maybe that could work. Maybe it depends on certain people. Who knows? Vaping. I mean, going back to vaping. I mean, again, like I don't know what's in this. I really don't know what's in vaping. I assume it's lots of chemicals, you know. And again, there's chemicals in this. I already said that before, but you know, the thing I don't get about vaping is people get all these like different flavors, like mocha and vanilla and banana and strawberry. I'm like, just dude, come on, man. Like, I don't want to see a guy who looks like, he's the lead singer of the Grateful Dead smoking a vape that smells like kiwi. You know, it's just something, it just doesn't fit. You know? I'll tell you what's really scary, though, is like, I've seen people that have that voice to the throat thing. Now, that scares the shit out of me. Like, I always wonder, like, do these guys, like, just literally smoke a whole pack at once, or you know, I don't know what happened there. You know, they sound like the guy from South Park, Ned. You know, what are we gonna do? You know, like those guys. But that's scary, and like you actually see the hole in the throat. I mean, I don't know, that makes you think. I'm just saying that's pretty bad. So. Maybe they gotta come up with like a better movie, you know, to really just stop people from smoking. I mean, I never got into heavy drugs or anything like that. I didn't smoke anything more than weed. I mean, I saw Basketball Diaries and Requiem of a Dream. Now, if you ever want to get off drugs, just watch those two movies. If you still want to do drugs after those two movies, there's something mentally wrong with you. You know, I can't help you, but you know. See someone smoking a cigarette in a movie, right after, we've all been guilty. Right after the movie, we want to have a cigarette. Now, what's so cool about putting 1,000 chemicals or 2,000? Who knows? I mean, I guess it depends on the cigarette. I mean, these are light, so maybe they don't have as much, you know. It's like switching to Diet Coke. I mean, I don't know, is it less calories or less poison? I don't know. Who knows? But what's the essence of it? You see someone doing it, and then you want to do it too. Monkey see, monkey do. Movies are definitely a big influence on smoking. Movies, TV. I mean, you never see commercials with smoking anymore. Forget it. I mean, like, actually, to be honest with you, like, you don't even see that many movies or TV do it anyways, you know? Like I said before about the Sigourney Weaver there. I mean, she did it and then she got shit for it, and you really just don't see it a lot. I've been watching a lot of old movies lately, and like, you know, 80s, 90s, I mean, they didn't care. They just puffed away in the doctor's office and in surgery, like on the street, you know, like if people were training in the gym, people were smoking, like it doesn't matter, like people just went nuts. But eventually you're gonna have to quit. You're gonna have to. Unless you're like that Keith Richards type, then maybe you can smoke for the rest of your life. Who knows? But eventually, you're definitely going to have to quit. it's just too bad for you. I mean, okay, so look at the side here. It says tobacco smoke contains more than 70 chemicals that can cause cancer. Does that mean the other chemicals don't cause as much cancer, or they don't cause cancer? I mean, but still 70 chemicals. 70. That's a lot. Maybe over exaggerating on the 1,000, 2,000, but I mean, that's a lot. The thing I don't understand is this, and this is the thing that's always pissed me off, is that if I, go get a bag of cookies or a bag of chips, why is there no picture of someone like, in like a diabetic coma, like just, going, oh, you shouldn't eat these chips, or else they're gonna, cause weight gain and, male tits and, like, where's that warning? You watch, eventually it's gonna get to that point. Who doesn't like nacho cheese? At one point you're gonna pick that nacho cheese up and you're gonna see like a picture of, I don't know, some Humpty Dumpty looking motherfucker, and it'll say, warning, if you eat this, you will easily gain 2 pounds. And of course you gotta get the chips, so it's gonna round up to 5. And you're gonna get more stuff for it. Because, let's be honest, melted cheese doesn't like to be alone. It likes to be with salsa, onions, chives, ground beef, beans. Like where's that warning gonna happen? When's it gonna happen? Smoking is bad. Okay. It's bad. But again, it's so good. I can't, and this is the problem, like when you're trying to quit, And it's funny too, because a lot of times, like, people will grow up and, they'll see their parents smoke, and either one or two things happen. It's either you can't wait to take one of your parents' cigarettes, or it's just you're around it for so long, you can't do it. Like, the people I never understand is the nurses and doctors that smoke. That I don't get. You don't have the odd cigar while you're on your boat, whatever. Okay, go ahead. But you're around like some disgusting shit every single day. God only knows what stuff is in. I mean, I'm 35 years old. God only knows what's in my body. All right, I probably got a Slim Jim in there from 1991. I'm sure there's some kind of resin or something from cigarettes. Who knows? They say every cigarette you have is 10 minutes off your life. I mean, that's a 10 minute, but then a lot of people say, oh yeah, I want to live to be, 70, 80, but then those last 5-10 years are shit anyway, so I might as well just smoke, Yeah, you can, but, you're going to live in torture, You'll be hooked up to an oxygen tank. All right, if you want to sound like Darth Vader, that's up to you, bud. But all right. But it is addicting, though, and that's why a lot of people have problems letting it go. Like anything else, it's just habit. Obviously, a lot of people wake up, they gotta have a cigarette. It's just them. I've never been one of those people. Like, I can't just automatically wake up and have a cigarette. I can't do that. Some people I know, honestly, like, they'll wake up in the middle of the night and have a cigarette. So, I can't understand that. I mean, that's crazy. But, yeah, a lot of people do it. They will just keep smoking, and who knows? They'll live to be forever. But then a lot of people, it just takes out very early. It's frustrating. Very, very frustrating. And every year, around this time, you see those commercials. Oh, don't quit smoking. Let smoking quit you. Or just some bullshit that comes out there. I mean, do they really help? I mean, think about it. They've been running these commercials since the beginning of time. Does it really help? If every year you have to remind people to quit smoking, is it worth it? Maybe some people do quit smoking. I don't know. I still can't believe the price of cigarettes. I mean, people should just quit smoking because of that. Switch to vaping. I don't know. I don't know. You know, it's a great feeling, though. Right after, and this is only if you smoke. I'm not condoning this. I'm just saying. Okay? Because there's been times in my life that I'm like, I need a cigarette. Gotta have one. Or you just go out there, you have a cigarette after a good hard day's work. It's almost like a victory smoke. And then there's times you look inside that pack, and this has happened a couple times where there's only one smoke left. I like to call it the golden smoke, because you know you're going to savor every single millimeter of that tobacco. And then there's times you open the pack like I am now, and there's no cigarettes. And you're in the middle of something, and you think to yourself, can I go this long or even longer without smoking? And then you try to quit. Or a lot of times someone will get sick, and you can't really smoke when you're sick. I mean, some people do. I don't know how people do that, but they actually do. They go out there in the cold, wearing their slippers and their robe, in minus 25 weather. They don't care. They're like, I gotta have a cigarette. I'm not gonna let this cold bother me. I need one right now. They go out there. It's 3 a.m. No cars are going by. Just puffing away. Hear 2 raccoons having sex in the background. And then you think to yourself, like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Why am I doing this? Long story short, you want to quit smoking cigarettes? Go ahead. All the power to you. If you don't, what can you do? You're going to have to quit when you want to quit. It's like anything else. You want to lose weight, you got to feel like losing weight. You want to go to work, you're going to have to feel like going to work. Most of the times you don't have a choice with that. But I'm saying in general, with smoking, just take your time with it. But there's always consequences when you smoke. Where there's smoke, there's fire.